Good morning, church, and happy Saturday. I wanted today to point out a difference between 2 Samuel and 1 Chronicles. 1 Chronicles was written much later than Samuel and Kings, likely a report written after the exile. And so some of the timings of things and the focus of things are a little bit different. We notice today that while 2 Samuel begins the civil war between David and Saul's son, Ishbosheth, Chronicles dodges that, and it goes straight from when Saul dies to the Israelites coming and taking David from Hebron over to Jerusalem, and there's no record of that war. Why would that be? What would be the point of that difference? First Chronicles was written for a united people to give encouragement, to give hope. And we'll notice as we read through it that even though it doesn't shy away necessarily from hard stuff, it does tend to be more optimistic and focusing more on the unity of Israel more than some of the divisive and the division points. So just kind of be aware as we go through that and observe those things. And then today I also want to talk about the humanity of Jesus. Today we have the very sad account of John the Baptist being beheaded by Herod. And when Jesus heard it, verse 13, he withdrew from there by boat to a remote place to be alone. And when the crowds heard this, they followed him on foot from the towns. When he went ashore, he saw a large crowd and had compassion on them and healed their sick. So remember, John the Baptist was Jesus' relative. And not only was he a relative, he was also the forerunner. So he was a ministry partner. This is someone who Jesus considered great among women. And also his family. Jesus is understandably quite sad at this point, and he goes to be alone. He doesn't get that opportunity. So here we see the humanity of Jesus, and again, his compassion. Just like when he touched the leper, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. One section calls it. When we get tired and we just want to be alone, sometimes we stop wanting to do the ministry, and we have to seek God at that point and say, how does God want me to interact even though I personally am exhausted and worn out? What is God wanting me to do? Am I to push through this and continue to do the ministry? Am I to send the crowds away and take some rest? And so it's always a thing to recall, even when we get tired and we get worn out, how does Jesus want us to operate in those seasons? As for him, he seemed to always have this reservoir that he could work through whatever. He was always pursuing God and doing the work. It could be because he knew his time was short, and so that the human side of him, we all know what we can push through when we know there's an end in sight. It could be that he had more reliance on God than we do, and that the Father supplied him the strength to push through. But I find it comforting to know that Jesus did experience grief, and that even in his grief, he still had compassion on us. Well, I love you, church. Y'all have a great Saturday. Enjoy the cool weather, and I look forward to talking to you soon again.